One of the other things we thought we might do is discuss the intricacies of Valentine's Day, since our show would be coming out about that time. And since we didn't cover Christmas and the holidays in December as well, and New Year's, we thought, well, maybe we will give some of our insights on Valentine's Day.
Heroes of humility, 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 humility. This is not a charade. This is real. These words you are about to hear are coming from real humans on a mission to save the human race from itself. Buckle up while these delusional heroes of humility, aka hoes, attempt to right the wrongs in everyday human behavior. I know that it's a difficult, we're all over the place, but I'll tell you, I know that I lucked out because my beauty and I have commemorated our anniversary to Valentine's Day, and it worked out. So it's kind of consolidated the presents.
Is it the same day?
Celebration. Yeah.
Did you do that so you had to buy less gifts?
It was actually kind of an accident, which is how most of the things that I do well in life kind of come together by accident. But yeah, so
Pierce is the kind of guy, like, he would break up with a girl right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And then he would get back together like the week later. So
for convenience.
No gift.
Yeah.
No gift.
It's easier that way. You have to there's a lot of things to consider, before you just willy-nilly break up and get back together.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes we have a bit of a discussion about, are we going to exchange anything or not? And I found that Costco is an exciting anniversary trip because
free samples.
Yeah, you get, and you also can go in there and you can get anything. So if you see something, now unfortunately, my beauty doesn't care too much for the clothing that is available in Costco, but sometimes we'll find something. And one year we both just went in and we got watches. We saw watches and we're like, okay, well, this is it. And we're already Kirkland head to toe anyway. So it was so now, I don't know, I think we're starting a tradition where we go to Costco.
So you just go together and say, hey, pick out your Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very romantic.
So getting bulk toilet paper is on top of the list of your romance.
If you got to get some other things while you're there. But yeah, it's a magical place anyway.
Just put your Valentine's Day gift right underneath the toilet paper and the
nacho cheese can.
And the nacho cheese can. Just fit it right there.
Well, one of the nice things about if you get one of the classier gifts at Costco, you have to hand your receipt to a person. Ooh. And then they bring out,
makes you feel
they
fancy.
Go to the special room and they bring out your jewelry or whatever. So that's something we've done. And it was
do you have Valentine's Day dinner at the food court there?
a little pizza and
little pizza
frosty,
little
big spender.
Yeah, bring a candle, just kind of set it down there. Kids are there's next to kids and other families.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, do you mind? We're trying to have a romantic dinner here, please. Can you keep your kids quiet, please?
A little rude, guys. And be really efficient. Have your tires changed and new battery put in while you're at it at the automotive center. I'm telling you, it's just like everything, it has everything.
Nice. Well, that is a sign of a relationship where it's like, okay, you guys are obviously past the stage where you're trying to court each other. You're not trying to court each other anymore. And now
we've already done the courting.
Yeah, you've already done the courting. You've
courted so hard.
Like the cat is courting you with the offerings.
That'll lead to a different result, though. But I've courted beauty so hard that it's almost hard to do any more courting. So but that's there's a lot of stuff to do there, and that's just a hint I'm giving to the listeners, an idea that you might take
Costco
for a romantic Valentine's is take her to Costco and let her pick out what she wants. Go through the aisles and take your time. Don't go in there like in a hurry.
Hey babe, you want that socket set over there?
You want some bison?
Yeah, you want some ground bison?
Bison jerky?
Yeah, and she doesn't like jerky, but I like to make sure we go through every aisle because she says, why do we have to? And I said, because you never know. There's something around every corner.
That is true.
They always move stuff.
They always move stuff, and it's always a new experience at Costco, dude. I will tell you, I went to Costco the other day, and out by me, it's like Snowbird, Elderly Personville
Yeah.
And I had the most like polarizing experiences with old people. I always do. Like I was waiting in line to get out because it's super busy there now during this time of year with all the elderly people and stuff. So I'm literally in line probably for like 10 minutes waiting to check out of Costco where they check your receipt and stuff. And I end up talking to this guy in front of me and just making small talk. He had a bunch of cheesecakes. I'm like, oh man, that's my weakness. I love. He's like, yeah, it's not for me. It's for my wife's church function. And then we got to talking about hunting and stuff. Cool dude. And felt like I made a little bit of a friend there, before I left. And then, so I'm like, cool older guy,
Yeah.
And then I'm walking to my car and I literally almost get hit three times by like old people that will not stop for you as you're crossing the street.
And now
it's
you're
like,
back
dude,
to hating all old people.
Yeah. What is wrong with you? Like, why can't you all be like this guy was, And
You know what's so funny is about listening to that story is that I think you can have a lot of bad experiences with people, and then we do this overgeneralization of people in different groups. But then if you just have one good one, it's really helpful. Mm-hmm. I think you need less good ones than you do bad ones. And luckily that is the way it is, because most of the time it does seem like you run into bad situations. And I don't think it's because people are necessarily fundamentally bad. It's just that they have a lot of autonomy when they're behind their car.
Well, yeah. And like with the older people and driving, I'm like, are you just this bad of a driver, or do you just not give a damn and you're just willing to run me over?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Do you not see me?
If it was like face to face and you were like,
well, I'm like crossing the road and like the guy, usually like the person that's coming, they slow down or stop. Mm-hmm. This guy's
trying to
at the point where it's like, okay, dude.
Wow.
You're not stopping.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, and I even said, geez, you could stop, buddy,
Ooh, nice.
And he didn't say anything. He probably didn't hear me.
Probably took a look at your yokes.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is I thought I've done this one time and Beauty didn't really appreciate it, but there was a car coming and they just wouldn't slow down. So I kind of gently pushed so it looked like I was trying to
pushed her in front of the car?
No.
I can see that.
Wow.
No. Block for me.
I pushed Beauty so it looked like I was trying to save her life, and then I dove in the opposite direction to make it really dramatic so that the driver felt like a jerk.
Yeah.
And I was kind of
like Mission Impossible,
yeah.
like there was going to be
Right.
like explosions in the background.
And I was laughing to myself, but I did it because I really wanted them to remember this situation because they were really coming close.
Yeah.
But I
do like a combat roll.
It was real dramatic, and I thought, well, maybe that'll teach them a lesson.
What was their reaction? Did you see a reaction?
I just saw them real bewildered. Yeah, it was bewildered is the only word I could think of. Maybe puzzled.
Was this on Valentine's Day as well to like boost up the romance of how you want to protect her?
It is kind of romantic when you save your woman, and so I always like to point out, I just saved you,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many. I've had a lot of.
Do you still get each other like food items for Valentine's? Like, do you get her? She doesn't really do candy like that, right. I don't think, right?
Yeah,
so
we try not to poison our bodies with those, but we do throughout all the time, so we wouldn't do it for a special occasion. Is I know there's certain things she likes, so I'll go to the store and I'll just bring those home, a certain kind of popcorn or something, and then
you put it in like a bouquet.
I like to.
He makes a bouquet.
I slip it in her bed when she's not looking.
Whoa,
yeah,
popcorn in the mattress.
But I told her, I said, but sometimes I also feel like for some reason I have to tell her, oh, by the way, I got you your favorite, because I don't want her to find it a week later and then I don't get any
be like,
credit.
oh, this was just kind of a coincidence.
Yeah, that's not going to help anybody. She's not going to enjoy it as much. Like, I won't get the excitement out of it.
Hey, I'm a great husband, so I got you this thing here in case
take a peek around the corner and see
in case you want to talk to your lady friends about how great of a husband you have.
Might want to spread the rumor.
Yeah,
just good. Share stories.
Just let everybody know how lucky you are. That's it.
Pass it around.
So, what about you, Red?
Gosh.
Any romantic things you do?
It's funny how it's changed. In the beginning, when we were courting each other, I would get the box of flowers. I used to spend like over $100.
Damn, you get a box, dude?
The long box with the long stem roses, whatever.
This guy's a Casanova, dude.
That's what ruins things for everybody else.
I know. I just get a little baby's breath, dude.
A little baby's breath. Throw a daisy in there.
The little $5 bouquet at the grocery store.
Some of the neighbors' oleanders and just throw it together, bro. Like
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry about the thorn on the
Yeah, sorry.
roses still.
You guys know a lot of words for different flowers. I'm impressed. That's
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I would do. And it's funny after, of course, when you get married and, your relationship moves forward, my wife would tell me like, oh, because that was one of the things I would get her is some sort of arrangement of roses. But as the years go on, she knew that I was spending over $100 on flowers. And she's like, don't spend that amount. I like flowers, but, maybe go to Costco and get a dozen roses.
Get a
for
slab of ribs.
$20. And, she'd actually rather have like a filet mignon or a nice bottle of wine. She's like, I'd rather you spend that money on wine and maybe.
Why do both your guys' Valentine's Day stories come back to Costco, dude?
Because maybe it's the romantic, the romantic getting a good deal. You know what I mean? Isn't that funny how like,
yeah.
Because that's one of her favorite meals is the Costco filet mignons. I grill them, get some sort of side of some sort, and I'll make the meal because usually she's making a meal or we contribute and one item, but I'll make the meal. And get a Costco dozen of roses, some Costco steaks, and grill it up. That would be considered a date night or a Valentine's.
To me, it's also a place of quality because they don't want people returning a bunch of things. So they've done a lot of research to find out that that's the best tissue you're going to find anywhere. Just for instance, I mean,
you would think they are our sponsor or something.
Yeah, they do. I watched the special on it, and they really do try to pick the best. So that's one of
because
the
their
reasons I
return
like
policy
going.
is like so generous.
Yeah, and the organic cherries you can get there, you can't beat that anywhere. I'm afraid to say it on the air. There was a little post on our Instagram page because I usually buy like 5 at a time, and I feel a little bad about that, especially if I only leave like 3 left at the store. But after I spoke about that and I put that out, it seemed like then cherries started running out at Costco, and I was like, oh damn!
Secrets out.
So like, there's some people that stock up on the toilet paper during pandemic.
That's ridiculous.
Pierce is stocking up on the organic cherry.
I'll draw the line at tissue because I just feel like that's a moral and weird thing to do. But
Well, get a bidet.
cherries,
Get a bidet.
Yeah, that too.
You know?
Just bring a hose, run the hose through.
Yeah, just run
put
that hose.
that real extra hard nozzle on the backyard in your Zen garden. Just add it to the cat little things.
Ooh, that's actually a good idea. Spray the cat with the hose.
It's organic.
Right? Yeah.
Spray the cat with my own hose.
Whoa.
Sorry, that's ridiculous.
No, but they do the chocolate covered strawberries there.
Everything
And,
is.
Yeah, there's that's some of the stuff that I will do. Maybe go to the movies. We'd like doing sushi too. And we'll go out to sushi because that's not something we don't do all the time. But
Something different.
I will say, back in my younger days, if I would cook for a girl on Valentine's Day, that's usually like your money then, dude. Especially back when I was a kid, I didn't know how to cook. So the fact that I actually cooked and did something that it wasn't like I was a chef, and I'm cooking. It was like, I don't cook and I did this. So it took a lot of thought and effort to do that.
The
you know what I mean?
premeditated
So
steps.
I think women love that when a guy will cook a special meal for them too.
No, we went one time. I took her to this. I remember one Valentine's. This, of course, was before we got married. And this was one of our favorite Italian restaurants we'd go to maybe like 3-4 times a year because it's not exactly cheap. Well, I didn't realize. I was like, you know what? I'm going to win some great brownie points if I book it for Valentine's Day because it's one of our favorite restaurants, right? And that year, they actually had this opera singer singing Italian opera music. I'm not an opera guy.
At the restaurant?
At the restaurant while you're eating.
Oh.
And at
See,
first,
I had you pegged for an opera guy.
Yeah, no, you didn't. And it was kind of like, at first it caught me off. But after being there for a while, there was a younger girl. I don't know. I'm guessing she was like in college age. She was really good. Like, we had a great time. And they always end the night with sambuca with a coffee bean in it. And it's funny. My wife now looks forward to it because it's black licorice. Like, in all honesty, I'd probably never pick to eat black licorice, but Sambuca's black licorice liqueur. It's really good. It obviously worked. But that's just some of the stuff that I have done. But I will say, like, I've spent $300 and some going out to like a Valentine's meal at a hotel where they do like a paired menu with wine. And honestly, it's really good. But my wife and I will get annoyed that it's like, we just don't want to blow $300. I will say we have friends that are younger generation and they go out almost every weekend. And it's not different for them to spend $500 on a meal for 2 people.
Wow.
They'll, oh yeah, we had this great experience at this seafood. They had a seafood tower and a tomahawk steak. And I'm like, 2 of you spent $500. I guess when you get older, you're thinking of like, man, that could have been a couple of tires on my car, or that could have been.
Well, and I think like when you're older, especially like say, you know, if you're married or something, you're not looking to go out all the time. That's what makes Valentine's Day special is we get to dress up. We get to go out. That's what makes it. If you were doing that every weekend, then it's not as special. Like most weekends should just be like, hey, hanging out, grilling burgers and making spaghetti and hanging out, making our own stuff. But every once in a while, Valentine's Day, maybe another special occasion. It's like we're gonna.
That's right. That's right. Because now, if you're going every weekend blowing $500, what do you do on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, what makes it special? Yeah, what and then is that really that special? Because you spent twice as much money? I mean, it's still kind of the same experience.
Yeah, no, it makes me want. You're setting yourself up for failure. You know, you got like bring it down, set the bar low.
Well, and it's just not real.
Yeah,
it's just not sustainable. Like, that's not a real, in my opinion. That's just the real stuff is hanging out together. Do it. That stuff is like the special stuff. Whether it's her birthday or whether it be like a Valentine's Day or something. You said, what makes that special then?
My wife's mom, it was funny. The one thing that she would want for Valentine's Day was her husband's time to do some sort of home improvement project. And when you think about it for us guys, sometimes it's kind of like, oh man, like there's something that she wants to get
Can I
done.
just buy you something?
Yeah, can I just buy? It's easier to buy you something than like have to go. But I could see where, you know, we all get busy in our lives and it's like, you know, she wanted, say, the room painted a different color, but you had to move all the stuff. You know, it's more of an ordeal. That's what she wanted. And I could see my wife at times where that's what she would want.
Well, and I think that goes back to women, especially like that. Irregardless of what it is, they want to know that you're thinking of them. Whether that's you took them to a nice dinner, you made them a nice dinner, you painted the room that they wanted you to paint. You did something for them to make them feel special, irregardless of what form that takes. You know what I mean? The spirit behind it is the same.
My second date with my beauty, I made her dinner and I decided I was going to make it really fancy, but also at the end I was going to have like some homemade cookies that I made and stuff. So I went kind of crazy and I made wontons, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, and I handmade them with this dough, and then I bought some, what do they call those tiny eggs? Caviar. And I thought, well, I should have.
See, this guy.
Yeah. So I decided, well, I don't want to just have black caviar. So I had some red and black caviar, and I put this on our plate, and everything was really good, and it turned out amazing. And I even contacted somebody that had rolled these wontons before and made sure I knew what I was doing. Or they were dumplings, excuse me. So I finished all this and I made it. I used crab and I put that in the dumplings. And so it was a pretty impressive dinner, if I do say so. And it unfortunately set the stage for Beauty thinking, wow, this guy, he really knows how to cook.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you set the bar too high. And then the next time it's like, hey, you want to grill some burgers or something?
I hosed myself, man.
Big caviar?
You want some oatmeal or how about some grilled cheese?
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I set myself up, but we started eating and I noticed, well, she hadn't eaten too much of her caviar, and I took a bite of it. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation with somebody and you haven't worn down the walls of just being yourself yet. And you realize, I can't swallow what I just put in my mouth. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. How do I get this out so that she doesn't see me just spit it up? So I kind of turned to the side and I tried to like wipe my face and I spit this caviar in the napkin, and she saw this and she's like, it's not very good, is it? And I said, it's the worst thing I've ever tasted. It was way too salty. It had like a ton of salt on it. It was weird.
It wasn't because you prepared it wrong. It's just because it was nasty in and of itself.
Yeah, whatever I bought, it was the wrong kind of caviar to buy. And I've never tried it again, but it was horrific.
Dollar store caviar. I've run into that.
Yeah, it was Costco caviar, okay?
Dollar Tree.
Yeah, Dollar Tree. So it was Kirkland, I'm sure. But when...
then it would have been amazing. What are you talking about?
So after we were done, we've talked about that, but that was a traumatic thing. But yeah, I had cookies and we had a little, I think some wine or something. And I don't...
But see, but my point is, even though it was gross, She didn't tell you that.
Yeah, she appreciated
She
it.
appreciated it.
Right.
Yeah, like she appreciated the effort and everything.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter that it was gross. It was all about the effort that you put into it, you know? So, I mean, it was
Things got...
it was a big L that you took.
not
but,
really.
you know,
Things got kind of,
Oh, all right. Well, hey. Okay.
I don't want to get into... a gentleman doesn't, but no, just say.
So are you going to tell us now?
Yeah, well, implying that I'm a gentleman. I'm sorry you didn't catch that. That was rude.
There's some caressing going on.
Using the mustache appropriately.
Well, I think this is an interesting... we've done a really good job, I think, returning to the studio and covering some material that will help people.
We just kind of winged it on this one.
Yeah,
huh?
we just kind of went without we didn't have time to prepare. Usually, folks, what we do is we let everybody know, hey, this is a general topic we're going to discuss, because we like to have some order. The show is about human behavior, so we usually touch on that, and this time we did with Valentine's.
Well, and I think that's something that us being friends and knowing each other for so long, it's like we could just hang out and have a conversation for hours.
Yeah.
Irregardless of whatever.
And we've been talking for hours before we even got in the studio, but you guys have helped me through a difficult time. I hope I've done that for each of you, just staying in touch and saying, hey, how you doing? And we've talked a lot, but that's why we haven't been able to get into the studio. So we appreciate people being back with us and sticking with our podcast. We promise good things are on the horizon. We're glad to do it because it's fun for us. This is what we were doing anyway.
Oh, yeah. I have a blast doing it. So I know we were all itching to get back in here and talk to each other again. And because I mean, this is also our opportunity to kind of hang out as bros too. I mean, Red's busy with family and everything, and you know, Pierce has a lot going on, and I always have a lot going on too.
It's like the Partridge Family over there.
Yeah, so it's kind of an excuse. It's an excuse for us to get together and hang out too. So which is nice.
Yep. Love you guys. Well, this is Pierce signing off once again with
Beige.
Red.
Tune in next time, and we'll try to be coming out here again soon. We have, again, a little bit of a social media presence. It's not religious to us, but you can catch some of our ideas or anecdotes on Instagram, Facebook, and we may be discontinuing our website, but never fear, we're still there. Just not sure how productive that was. We were starting that up because we might have some t-shirts come out someday, but...
You know, and I will say, too, if there's any listeners that want to bring up a topic that maybe they want us to discuss,
that's a good idea.
let us know.
You can reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook, or if you want to DM us. We look at that stuff, and we've gotten some. And then if you want, let us know. We'll feature it in the show, and we'll let you know, hey, if you want to use a call sign instead of your real name, we'll give you a shout out, and we appreciate it. Take care and be cool, be kind.